Today, we will be taking a detailed look at the life, struggles, and revolutionary changes made by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder and first president of the Republic of Turkey. We'll explore Ataturk's impactful life, his role in modernizing Turkey. Let's get started. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was born in 1881 in Thessaloniki, in a three-story pink house on Koçakasım Street, İslahiye district. His father, Ali Rıza Efendi, was involved in militia service, Wakf clerk duties, and timber trading. He married Zübeyde Hanım in 1871, who came from an old Turkish family in the nearby Langaza village. Mustafa Kemal's paternal grandfather, Hafız Ahmet Efendi, had migrated from Konya and Aydın to Macedonia in the 14th and 15th centuries. Mustafa Kemal's childhood was marked by economic hardships, with the family facing many challenges. Out of his 5 siblings, 4 died young, leaving only his sister Makbule to live on for many years. Mustafa Kemal began his education at Hafız Mehmet Efendi's neighborhood school. Later, at his father's request, he moved to Şemsi Efendi School. However, the death of his father in 1888 created a significant void in his life. After this event, he lived with his uncle at Rapla Farm for a while, then returned to Thessaloniki to continue his education. After finishing Thessaloniki Civil School, he entered the military school in 1893. During this period, his mathematics teacher, Mustafa Bey, gave him the name Kemal. After completing the Manastır Military High School from 1896 to 1899, he began studying at the Military Academy in Istanbul. He graduated as a lieutenant in 1902 and continued his studies at the War Academy, graduating as a captain on January 11, 1905. Ataturk's military career began with his service in the Fifth Army in Damascus between 1905 and 1907. In 1907, he was promoted to the rank of major and was assigned to the Third Army in Manastır. On April 19, 1909, he served as the Chief of Staff of the Army of Action that entered Istanbul. In 1911, with the Italian invasion of Tripoli, Mustafa Kemal served in the Tobruk and Derna regions. On December 22, 1911, he won the Battle of Tobruk against the Italians. He was appointed as the military attaché in Sofia and was promoted to the rank of lieutenant colonel in 1914. With the outbreak of World War I, Mustafa Kemal was tasked with forming the 19th Division in Tekirdağ. In 1915, he showed exceptional heroism at the Gallipoli front and made the Allied powers say, "Gallipoli cannot be passed." After the Allied naval attack on the Dardanelles on March 18, 1915, which resulted in heavy losses, they decided to land troops on the Gallipoli Peninsula. On April 25, 1915, Mustafa Kemal's 19th Division stopped the enemy forces landing at Arıburnu at Konkbayırı. For this success, he was promoted to the rank of colonel. The British forces launched another attack at Arıburnu on August 6-7, 1915. As the commander of the Anafartalar Group, Mustafa Kemal achieved the Anafartalar victory on August 9-10, followed by the Kireçtepe victory on August 17th, and the second Anafartalar victory on August 24th. During the Gallipoli campaign, the Turkish nation suffered about 253,000 casualties, but preserved its honor. Mustafa Kemal's order to his soldiers: "I am not commanding you to attack. I am commanding you to die," changed the fate of the front. The day after the signing of the Armistice of Mondros, Mustafa Kemal was appointed to the command of the Yıldırım Army Group on October 31, 1918. After the disbandment of this army, he returned to Istanbul on November 13, 1918, and began working at the Ministry of War. With the Allied powers starting to occupy Ottoman territories after the Armistice of Mondros, Mustafa Kemal arrived in Samsun on May 19, 1919, as the 9th Army Inspector. On June 22, 1919, he published a circular in Amasya declaring that The independence of the nation will be saved by the nation's own resolve and determination, and called for the Sivas Congress. By convening the Erzurum Congress from July 23rd to August 7th, 1919, and the Sivas Congress from September 4th to 11th, 1919, he guided the path for the salvation of the homeland. On December 27th, 1919, he was warmly welcomed in Ankara, and with the opening of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey on April 23rd, 1920, a significant step was taken toward the establishment of the Republic of Turkey. Mustafa Kemal was elected as the president of the assembly and government, and the Grand National Assembly of Turkey enacted and implemented necessary laws to ensure the successful outcome of the War of Independence. The Turkish War of Independence began with the first shot fired at the enemy during the Greek occupation of Izmir on May 15, 1919. On August 10, 1920, the Treaty of Sèvres was signed, which divided the Ottoman Empire among the victorious Allied powers of World War I. Initially fought with irregular forces known as Kuvayi Milliye, the Turkish Grand National Assembly established a regular army and integrated the Kuvayi Milliye with the regular army, leading to the ultimate victory in the war. Ataturk's modernization movement profoundly changed the country's social, economic, and cultural structure. He started with educational reforms. In 1924, he enacted the law on the unification of education, centralizing the education system and separating religious education from state control. In 1925, he implemented the alphabet reform, replacing the Arabic script with the Latin alphabet. This change increased literacy rates and laid the foundation for modern education. The Hat Law of 1925, which encouraged the use of hats instead of the traditional fez, contributed to societal modernization. Ataturk used this law to promote Western-style clothing and support social change. In 1934, he took a significant step in women's rights by granting women the right to vote and be elected. This allowed women to play a more active role in society and provided opportunities for their participation in political life. Major economic reforms were also implemented. In 1925, the Central Bank of Turkey was established to ensure monetary and financial stability. During the Great Depression of 1929, the state adopted an interventionist economic policy, investing in industrial projects to support economic growth. The state undertook large-scale industrial projects, achieving economic independence for the country. Significant changes were made in agriculture as well. In 1926, the Ministry of Agriculture was established to boost agricultural productivity, and various agricultural reforms were implemented. The Land Reform Law of 1937 encouraged land ownership among peasants and limited the property holdings of large landowners. In the cultural sphere, Ataturk promoted the simplification of the Turkish language and the promotion of Turkish history and values. The History of Turkish Revolution and the Turkish Language Association were established, emphasizing the importance of national identity. Ataturk's comprehensive reforms created a modern and secular Turkish society. Ataturk's influence extended beyond Turkey's borders. He adopted a neutral foreign policy and prioritized peace and stability in international relations. He worked to improve Turkey's relations with neighboring countries and signed numerous treaties to ensure national security. On November 10, 1938, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's health deteriorated rapidly, and the founder of the Republic of Turkey passed away at the Dolmabahce Palace in Istanbul at the age of 57. His death was met with great sorrow and mourning throughout Turkey. Every year on November 10th, Turkey commemorates Ataturk with a moment of silence, reflecting on his contributions and enduring legacy. Ataturk's ideas and reforms continue to guide Turkey's path toward modernization and progress. Thank you for joining us as we explored the extraordinary life and legacy of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. His vision and leadership transformed Turkey and left an indelible mark on history.